Welcome to this conversation, which was supposed to be physical at the Trailblazers event, the Tata Steel Trailblazers Conclave this year, and someone who has actually made it possible in many ways for me and the team at Rev Sports to be able to do Trailblazers and grow it every year. The support of Tata Steel personally and to my organization, and as I said, deepest appreciation, respect, and admiration for the man. No one better to kickstart the conclave than Shri TV Narendran, Managing Director and Global CEO of Tata Steel. Chief, I will miss you. I'm putting it on record. I had been talking to you for 7-8 months, but I understand occupational hazard. But your thoughts, two questions to start with. The Tata Steel vision for sport, and why did you, from year one, decide to support the Trailblazers Conclave?
Firstly, Boria, thank you for being so generous and as well as for inviting me. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there. As you know, I had planned to be there even 3 days back. We had discussed and I said I would be there. So something has happened and, obviously it's an occupational hazard for me that my schedule is not always in my hands. But firstly, congratulations to you and your team for putting up a show like this. And so I'll answer your second question first, which is to say that we are happy to be associated with you. I think you've been one of the most passionate people on sports that I've known for years. And we are happy to support that passion for a very good cause. So I think that's why we've been happy to be associated with this initiative from the outset. Tata Steel's association with sports goes back a long way. I think we have a rich history of association with sports. As you know, and maybe some of your viewers know, Dorab Tata, the chairman of Tata Sons and Tata Steel at that point in time, sponsored the first Indian delegation to the Paris Olympics in 1920. And ever since, our association in sport has been very strong. And I think what we try to do is support sports which normally don't get too much support. There are sports which get a lot of support in India, but there are sports which don't get enough support. So we do that. Secondly, we see sports as a way of connecting with the community. We always look for different platforms to connect with community, and sports is a very important platform for us to use to connect with the community at the grassroots level. We also think that sports is a very important part of anyone's life, and particularly it helps channelize the energies of the youth in a very positive way and helps create habits which give you a very healthy lifestyle. It teaches you a lot for leadership. It teaches you a lot which you can use in leadership in all aspects of life. So in many different ways, I think sports is very useful to society, and Tata Steel finds it an excellent way to add value to society and also to connect with society.
Taking a cue from what Mr. Narendran just said, I want to put two things on record and then ask the next question. One, from the first year, in fact, the Trailblazers Conclave at that point in time wouldn't even have happened. And it was based our conversation, based on a conversation that I had with Mr. Narendran on a Zoom call. And I requested, Chief, can I do this? And that's how it was born in 2022. First edition was in 23. First call, as I said, was with this man. Then next year, as it's very much with me, I went to him and I said, I need more support. He said, what happened? I said, I'm doing it 2 days instead of 1. Without even batting an eyelid. Again, I'm putting it on record. Go ahead. This time round, last September, I went to him and I said, look, Paris, this is what has happened. Olympics, Paralympics. I want to do it 2.5 to 3 days because I want to grow it, shape the narrative in India. We are going to bid for 2036. You have to back me. Again. And he said, look, don't keep asking every year. I will back you for a long term. Let's get this done for 2-3 years. And that is the kind of support which gives us the confidence that, you know what, there's somebody, a brand that is behind you, which has shaped the narrative for Indian sport. So once again, my deepest appreciation and gratitude. Number 2, and here's the question. You just said that sports that do not get that kind of support in India. And I come back to our conversation when you told me, don't just focus on cricket. Talk about Paralympic sport. Talk about sport like that, which will make India a better society, a more inclusive, a more sensitive society. Your thoughts on that? Because if you see the schedule, which I have already shared with you, huge number of Paralympic medalists, 12, 13 of them with able-bodied athletes. Can you talk to me about your vision, how this can change India, the Paralympic success, and overall how we can become a better society if we are able to bring this synergy?
Yeah. So, Boria, I think, at a very fundamental level, to be successful in whatever sports you pursue, you need to be committed, you need to be disciplined, you need to put in a lot of hard work. If it's a team sport, you need to do a lot of teamwork. You need to work with your coaches, your support teams, everyone else. So there's a lot that you put in to be successful in sports. And for me, like I said, it's a celebration of that. Now, when I look at Paralympic sports and things like that, the challenge is even more for the people. As it is, we say in sports, we don't support athletes enough. And I think in Paralympics, etc., we support even less. So as a society, I think we need to do far more for the differently abled. And I think corporates can do their bit, which we do as we try to become more inclusive, encourage more diversity, create more facilities so that differently able people and different people can be part of our workforce. But I think we need to do more and more to celebrate their successes beyond the corporate world, in the sporting world. And I think through this, we are able to celebrate their success, celebrate their perseverance, their resilience, and also hopefully help society celebrate them as well, much more than they do today, and also be more sensitive to the challenges that they have to go through to achieve what they've achieved.
Basically, continuing from this question, and again from the fact that it is not a celebration of cricket alone, but a celebration which is holistic and multi-sport. There are some very important aspects of critical inquiry and dialogue. For example, recently Gopi Chand has talked about how the Indian sporting ecosystem should shape itself. Education, the role of education, the role of mental health. We have a panel called From Menarche to Menopause, which talks about women's health, issues that are not generally discussed and debated in society. So these are the kind of things we are able to discuss at the Trailblazers Conclave with athletes, with policymakers, with leading corporates, with federation presidents and others. This is why I think this platform has become a go-to platform for athletes, and we can shape narrative. We'll present a white paper out of this as well. Your thoughts, because when you told me to do it, was this the kind of vision that you wanted me to articulate and execute? And how do we take this forward?
So I think these platforms are very important for the reasons that you described. 10 years back, Tata Steel, decided that we need to create a platform for tribal voices. We operate in states where the tribal communities are a significant part of the demographic. Okay. While we have been doing a lot of good work with the tribal communities, we found that we had not created a platform. So since 2014, we created a platform called Samvad. Every year, 1,500 to 2,000 members of tribal communities from across India and also across the world come to Jamshedpur to celebrate Birsa Munda's birthday, and 3 days thereafter, we celebrate the tribal cultural identity, tribal cultures, tribal languages, tribal food, art, music, etc. The reason why I give this example is you have an opportunity to be that kind of a platform for sports. Right? Where different people from different sporting disciplines come there, different, also the Paralympic sports are represented there, athletes are represented there. So there is an opportunity for you to create a platform where issues which are relevant to sports people, sports administrators, aspiring sports people, so on and so forth, have an opportunity to voice their issues, and hopefully collectively we sit together and discuss these issues. We'll find some solutions, we'll get some ideas, and I think all this is very important as we want to make India a great sporting nation. We have the potential, we've in flashes shown our ability, so how can we really make it work? And I think the platform allows you that opportunity to be a via media for that.
Final two questions. One, you were to inaugurate the conclave, give the opening keynote, and light the lamp, and all of that. So a message, please, for all our, because we had mentioned this to all our athletes as well. So a message for close to the 35 athletes who are coming, from the top echelons to the young people, to the legends, to everyone else. A message for the athletes and the entire audience coming.
Continue to be inspiration for all of us, continue to be role models. I think a lot of youth pick up sports because of what all of you achieve. And I think please keep doing that. I think many of us have been inspired by the achievements of sporting heroes that we've watched, listened to, seen, etc. So I think you have a great opportunity to shape the future of the nation. And so please continue doing that. You can shape young minds and really create future generations of sports people that we can be proud of as we are proud of you.
Last question. The conclave is one thing what we are seeing on stage. And my favorite part of the conclave, and this is why I always want leaders like you to come, is, for example, in 2023, year one, Manu Bhaker, who is now obviously double Olympic medalist and all, was at her lowest, depressed, about to leave the sport, contemplating whether there is a future in the sport, etc., had come to Trailblazers. In fact, I insisted you come. And then Abhinav Bindra and Manu Bhaker, off stage, backstage, had close to an hour's conversation. Last year, I saw the same happen between a PR Srijesh and a youngster. I've seen that happen between Abhinav and other shooters, Gopi Chand and others. And for me, this backstage, because what happens even at the Olympic Games, Mr. Narendran, is after my event, I am a hockey player, my event is done, next day I go back. So I don't get the chance to meet other people, other players, people from other disciplines, legends from other disciplines. All of a sudden, at this conclave 3 days, you have legends, young people interacting backstage, not in front of all of us, but maybe a cup of coffee, lunch, dinner, interpersonal conversations. I think that is as relevant. So that is why a TV Narendran telling someone about leadership would have been an incredible life lesson. I've learned so much from you. Is that something that you think forums like ours can actually do and make change?
Absolutely. And honestly, I think if I'd come there, I would have been a student of leadership than to talk about leadership, because there's so much to learn from sports people. And I've always said that. I'm not saying it because I'm speaking to you today. I've said it in the past. I think at a very young age, they learn to handle pressure, handle responsibility, handle expectations, handle criticism. I think that's a lot more than many of us are subjected to when we were at that age. So I think corporate leaders learn to deal with all these pressures much later in life, but I think sports people learn to deal with these pressures much earlier in life. So I think there's a lot of leadership lessons from sports people for corporate leaders. So I would have been there as a student more than as a teacher on the subject. But I think I'll look forward to being part of it and in the future. But as the larger point you made is there's a lot to learn from each other. I think corporates can learn from sports people and vice versa. I think certainly these platforms help create those opportunities.
I'll end there, Mr. Narendran, with the how do I put it, the vow that I will keep persisting. And you know me, one thing about me is I persist. And I will get you to Trailblazers, because you've already committed support to me for 26. So that is done. So you have escaped the madness that otherwise I would have subjected to. But once again, very seriously, I deeply appreciate your support. And I'll actually come back next year for more support, because it's Commonwealth Games and Asian Games and I want to make a difference. But sooner than later, you at Trailblazers, for the moment, I will play this interview on the day of the conclave at the inaugural, and celebrate the partnership that we have been able to forge, and look forward. You said you will learn. I look forward to keep learning from you and taking this partnership forward. Deepest gratitude, admiration, and respect. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Boria, for having me here today. Thank you so much.